We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live
You'll
would
be
like to
fine. Give
thank
me
you
one
for
second.
choosing the internet's
I
hottest
can't.
destination
I
for the
can
Not
hear
most
yet.
you.
eclectic
Give me
No, I
sound
one
and
can't.
second.
invigorating
Good.
talk. This
I
is
can hear the
LA Talk
conversation. Yes, I
Live.
can.
We are more
It
than
is
just
good.
talk.
Yes.
Okay, Pastor? You on camera?
I am happy
Hold
to
on.
join with
You're on
you
camera on this one?
today
Now.
in what
And your
will
mic is
go
hot.
down in history.
Welcome to Faith on the Front Line. Good to have all of you listening, and I hope that you have had a good week. Looking forward to a weekend. So much is happening and taking place. I'm just fresh, kind of whisking in from the West Coast Expo. I'm Dr. Lewis Logan, executive producer of Faith on the Front Line, co-founder of Ruach Christian Community Fellowship, activist in community engagement in economic justice and issues of worker enfranchisement. And I just try to take the ministry to the streets. I believe it started in the streets, and I believe that we have to keep the street heat going. I am here in the absence of my co-host, Reverend William Campbell, who I pray and hope will convalesce and heal. He's been holding it down the last couple of weekends or Fridays. I've been traveling a little bit, but nevertheless, I've been able to be benefited by his support. So let's pray for Reverend Campbell, the pastor of Mount Gilead Missionary Baptist Church, and my mentor and brother and friend. So let's give big prayers for Reverend Campbell. I'm also appreciative of the sponsorship of two of our delectable and delightful entrepreneurs, restaurateurs. It's Doolin's on Crenshaw. You want some amazing soul food? I'll just tell you like this. If you're on a diet, go by anyway, because if you can have the discipline, you'll have a meal for about 3 days straight. I promise you. And also Uncle Darrow's Louisiana Cuisine on Lincoln, out off of Lincoln in Washington. Man, I tell you, I love there. And I don't do fried foods. I promise you, I don't do fried foods, but they have some of the most awesome oyster platters and combinations. They have gumbo, and man, you close your eyes, you think you're in the bayou. I mean, they just make it happen. It's just awesome. So I want to thank you so much for being here today. Didn't get a chance to post this morning what we were going to talk about. I was at the expo kind of running and ripping with that. I had to get some help, some technical help. Maybe if there are those of you who like to do media postings and who would like to support radio broadcasts like Faith on the Front Line, it connects faith community to the streets and the issues and challenges, both local and global. I'd love to hear from you. I'm at praxis@gmail.com, praxis@gmail.com. You're an intern, you're a social media file, if you will. That means a lover of social media. You like to post up. A brother could certainly use the help and support that would take some things off my hands to give you some exposure and the practice and capacity building experience to make this happen. And I would definitely give you a great referral for anything else you want to do. So today, I want to share with you information that's related to the Power Fest event that's taking place tomorrow. That's sponsored through the Community Coalition, that organization that is the birth child, if you will, of now Congresswoman Karen Bass.
Correct.
And also Maria Elena DeRazzo were also part of the founding of the Community Coalition. I have been thankful and grateful to be a part of that. Marquise Dawson is now the executive director, and I have in studio Ms. Tyra Goodman, who's going to share with us information related to the Power Fest experience tomorrow. I also want to share with you a little bit of the experience I had at the West Coast Expo, where actually my interview with a couple of African American entrepreneurs who were in attendance actually became a business deal. So stay tuned. You're going to hear that. It was amazing just to hear two brothers talking about their businesses and then recognizing the syncretism between the needs that each of them have. So That's how it happens. An expo, this West Coast Expo works. It brings networkers together to find ways to collaborate and synergize their businesses. So, and then at the half of the hour, I hope to bring to you David Cohen, who is executive director of in the public interest. He's going to expose something that many of us may not know about the private prison industry. You'll want to hear what he has to say. So again, thank you for tuning in, and I'm grateful to have the opportunity to talk with Miss Goodman. Miss Goodman, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for adjusting your schedule. I know they told you were going to be here. They said, man, you better make it happen.
Right.
That's what the coalition does. They don't ask you. They just tell you. And you're so committed, you need to just do what has to be done.
Absolutely. I think that we're really embarking upon something that's very wonderful, and I'm just excited to share this information with your listeners. Talk about the Power Fest. It's an exciting event.
Well, I appreciate the excellent work the coalition has been doing. For our audience that may or may not, and you're on camera as well.
Oh,
so
wonderful.
Just so you know, the camera's looking at you,
Wonderful.
and you're looking at folks that are looking at your big smile and those dimples and all of that. It's just so you know, some people may not know much about the Community Coalition. Can you give us a little bit about the Community Coalition, what you do, how you're situated, and then we'll go into your event tomorrow.
Absolutely. Well, the Community Coalition was founded by Congresswoman Karen Bass in 1990, so we're actually 13 years old.
Wow.
It was actually founded out of a response to the crack epidemic that really plagued South Los Angeles at that time. And our mission is to actually transform the environment that fosters addiction and crime and poverty in South Los Angeles. So we're very happy to do good work with the residents there in South Los Angeles.
Amazing.
Yes.
What impact did your organizing efforts have at that time? If you can, I know you probably weren't involved at that time. I don't know if you were involved at that time or not, but what do you know that it was impactful?
I was involved because I was a resident of South Los Angeles.
Oh, wonderful.
Not
so
actually.
You saw it.
I saw it firsthand. I was born and raised here in Los Angeles, so I saw the transformation of that community and the proliferation of crack. What the crack epidemic did to families and to the residents there. So one of the things that the coalition did is they went out to talk with the residents to find out what they felt the crack epidemic did to impact their lives. And in doing that, what we found out was that residents were really more concerned about the high density of liquor stores in that area, and that liquor stores actually promulgated more than just the selling of liquor. You could get crack cocaine there. There was prostitution and a lot of violence. And so residents were really impacted by that. So the coalition went out right at the time that it was kind of the perfect storm for a change, because we had the civil unrest of 1992 with Rodney King verdict, and many of the liquor stores burnt to the ground. So the coalition went about to help stop the rebuilding of those liquor stores that were impacted by the fire. So we actually helped, I think it was something like 150 liquor stores that were not able to rebuild after that. So we were very instrumental with building South LA without liquor stores, and we stopped many liquor stores from being rebuilt.
Now, this is amazing because there's two things that come to mind. One is the approach in terms of going into the community and listening to what the residents say.
Absolutely.
Did they come to your home? Did Community Coalition organizers or persons come to your house?
They came to many homes in that particular area that we actually service. So not particularly, I don't remember being involved in that survey, but I do know of the efforts to stop the rebuilding of those liquor stores. And it was able, we still, to this day, we still have many more liquor stores and almost in that concentrated area than the state of Rhode Island. So we have, there's a lot of work to still be done. But what we're doing now is we usually work with the community to help them transform their own neighborhood. So in this King Park area, the area of 39th and Western,
where the Power Fest is taking place.
Where the Power Fest will take place, we are actually working with the residents there to transform that built environment, environment that fosters, crime and drug addiction and those types of things. So we are working with those residents in that area to bring about a change in how we live, how the community lives.
What an amazing example of how community can begin to, instead of ask people what they want, can begin to tell.
Absolutely.
And not just talk about it, but as we say on Faith on the Front Line, be about it.
Yeah.
To actually feel empowered by virtue of collective activity that's strategic and specific and
Right.
garnered to actually fulfill a particular vision.
Absolutely.
For you to have seen that, how has that made an impact on your personal life? And if you don't mind my asking, in terms of how you see yourself, did that empower you to some degree?
Absolutely. Well, the thing that's interesting about me personally is that my family has always been involved in the transformation of conditions for people.
Okay.
So my uncle, who founded the Los Angeles Sentinel, Colonel Leon Washington,
see.
I've always been aware that through information, there is power, and through that power, you can change and you can transform your conditions. So that's been something that I've been born with and live with all of my life. So
Wow.
the coalition's edict and their mission just kind of fits in with that whole idea that residents are able to change and transform their own environment through being active and being aware.
I see. For those who would like to call in and talk to Tyra, or maybe you lived in the South Los Angeles area and you saw firsthand the impact of Community Coalition, please do this due diligence. Call in at 323-473-3100. That's 323-473-3100. And that way you can probably get a chance to tell us about your experience and talk to us about how you're going to be attending Power Fest tomorrow. That's
Absolutely.
really what we want you to do,
That's-
is talk about how Power Fest. So have there been events like Power Fest prior to tomorrow's event?
Yes, well, first of all, this is our second annual Power Fest. We actually
Okay.
held the first Power Fest last year, and we
Okay.
had over 1,000 people in attendance.
Wow.
We just recently had our Westmont Art Walk, which was during the last weeks in July, where we had over 500 attendees, where we had local residents come out and sell their wares, show their art. We had a great response to that. So we're looking forward to tomorrow's event, where we will be focusing on the Affordable Care Act.
I see.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing. So here again, another particular need identified by some type of communication with the community, but being fulfilled by the Community Coalition. What's the makeup of the Community Coalition?
We are actually a very diversified makeup. We're a Black and Brown organization, so we've got about 40 employees, and I'd say it's half and half, African American and Latino. We do have other representation,
Sure.
ethnicities, Asian, Korean.
I know some
yeah.
of our friends.
Absolutely.
Wonderful ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of a would you say, a cosmic reflection of our
Yes.
our
Diaspora
community.
and diversity.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wonderful. Now, how long have you been a part of the Community Coalition?
Next month I'll be there 3 years. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And not quite as long as everyone else, but 3 years, and it's been very three active and powerful years.
I
there.
see.
Mhm.
I see. What's the number if people want to call and contact and get information about
Absolutely.
the
323-750-9087. And our staff is there to answer all of the questions that people may have.
One more time.
323-750-9087.
323-750-9087.
Yes.
I see. Now, kind of run down for us what's going to happen tomorrow at the Power Fest, if you don't mind.
We're very excited. We're going to.
I'm excited for you. Look excited.
It is.
Tara Goodman looks
Yes,
excited.
I am. It's just-
Oh, wow.
'cause-
So what time do you got to be there at like 5 in the morning to set up?
Well, it doesn't hurt.
Like, oh, man.
But the park.
I hate to say this to you on a Friday, but obviously you're pumped and ready.
I am. I'm very excited. We begin at 1:00, and we're going to have just a plethora of activities. So we will have the Affordable Care Act tent. That'll be a tent that will give all the information, allow residents to find out what the Affordable Care Act means for them and their families, the ability to enroll, and to get more information. So that it's going to be just a powerhouse area right there. But we're going to also have healthy food experiences. So we'll have a healthy food tent. We will have food trucks that will sell not only your average food trucks, but that are focused on health. We will have music. So we have a free concert that will feature the artist Guapale. Yeah, who's a very talented musician and also very socially conscious. We'll have other social service providers there to give information about the things that they do. So I know that we'll have other booths there. There'll be a kids zone, so children will be able to have activity, and we'll have face painting and
Wow.
different things of that nature. And throughout the day, people can just actually wander around and get. There's going to be healthy food cooking demonstrations by Chef
see.
Bryce. There'll
Okay.
be food tastings. I think they're going to have Zumba activities. So the focus is on creating this healthy environment for a healthy community, healthy individuals, and also focusing on Affordable Care Act, so Health Act. So
Wow. Wow. And
it's a lot.
and so when will it end? So it goes from 1
To
to
5.
1 to 5. That's a
Yeah.
lot in
It's
a
a
few
long day.
hours.
Yeah,
It is a
it's
long
a
day.
lot. But you don't have to just stay in one station. You can move around and get information and enjoy music and good food. And so it's just a fun, family-filled event that's free.
Cool.
It's absolutely free.
Cool. We're going to take a quick break, but want to give the call-in number again. It's 323-473-3100. You can talk to the vivacious Miss Tyra Goodman, who wants to talk to you about the Power Fest experience. We'll be right back.
All right.
You're clear.
Yeah, let me call real quick and get the date for that.
Hi, this is Starlet Quarles, and I'm inviting you to join us every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. for a new show right here on LA Talk Live, The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People. Join us as we discuss the topics that are relevant to today's generational leaders. So don't forget to tune in to The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People, every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Tyra calling. Who am I speaking with? Hey, Deshaun, can you just give me the date of the gala?
Yeah.
Is it the 27th or 24th? October.
Hello, I'm Joel Ramirez
And I'm Lolita Robinson Coppage, and welcome to Joy in My House
on LATalkLive.com. Inspirational radio,
with a touch of recovery.
a reality show where nothing is left unsaid,
And no one is insignificant who says it.
exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV.
Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Radio interview. That's why I wanted to make sure I had it.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history.
All right, Pastor Logan, you're on camera, and you're up.
Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for the break. Thank you so much for listening. And again, if you want to call in and speak to Ms. Goodman, or if you want to speak to me, the studio line number is 323-473-3100, 323-473-3100. You'll get a smile and you'll get information. You can't beat that on Faith on the Front Line. Now, you might be asking in your mind, well, what connection is the faith community to Community Coalition? And we talked about the diversity within the Community Coalition, but we haven't really talked much about the extent to which the faith community is involved. And as a cleric, I know that there have been various initiatives and efforts that I've been invited to be a part of, various action-oriented campaigns that have brought together community, the wider community, the labor community, and the faith community. What has been your experience, if you don't mind my asking, in terms of how you've seen the faith community involved with community coalition objectives?
Right. Well, first of all, remembering that, the church was our first place to, have galvanized the community. It's always been kind of the cornerstone of just bringing community together, through faith-based initiatives. you find that people will get involved because they go to the church for information as well as for spiritual food, right?
Sure.
So Community Coalition recognizes the importance of the church with connecting with people. So we always try to ensure that we involve our church leaders, our church communities, as well as just our communities to not only connect the church to what the issue is, but also to connect people to the church. So it's just a place to kind of coalesce.
I see. So you've had from its inception that sense of connection to the churches, and of course, as it relates to the issue with the proliferation of liquor and alcohol and the devastating impact that alcoholism has had in our community is definitely replete within the life of the faith community.
Absolutely.
And I'm certain that many faith communities or churches and other ministries have offered services and support for families and those who've been disproportionately disaffected by this scourge.
Right.
And so I'm certain that to whatever degree, are there any particular clergy or churches in particular that you recall being just really involved to any extent that you're up?
I think that, we are involved with many churches. I know that we just had a Freedom School program that just ended last summer that was held at the Crenshaw Christian Community Center. So I think that, we're just we welcome any and all churches, any and all affiliations, religions, because we want to make sure that we touch everyone. The idea of it being a community coalition means that it's interwoven with everyone. So we don't necessarily target one specific church. We will work with anyone and everyone. And everyone's always invited to all of our efforts.
Absolutely. All right. Let's go back to the Power Fest just a moment. And you have not only that, but you also have a gala coming up.
Yes, we have
to stay busy, don't you?
We do. I mean, there's a lot going on. Community never sleeps. I think that so we have to always be prepared with something to do and get people involved. So we do have our annual gala, and it's going to be held at the JW Marriott downtown LA Live, October 24th, and it is we're actually honoring Reverend Lawson, who was
Lawson.
Absolutely Reverend James Lawson, who was a pioneer of the civil rights movement as well.
Architect.
So so this the theme is always people, power, progress, and so these are our progress awards, and we always try to honor those that have made a great impact in our community.
No question. If no one else has,
he absolutely has.
The thing I like about his example is that he remains a strong force and a voice for change in our community, and he conducts weekly nonviolence workshops, nonviolent direct action workshops at the Holman United Methodist Church.
Absolutely.
I think they start at like 8 or so in the morning, go till like 11. They have that kind of stamina and conviction and commitment to the work of passing on that information to the next generation. And what Community Coalition is doing, not just in terms of the organizing part of it, but highlighting the legends to connect intergenerational memories and collective understandings of where we've come from, what we're doing, and what it takes to move forward as a community. Not just a particular race or ethnicity, but the human race overall. And so I salute and commend the Community Coalition, Mr. Dawson, and all of you for how you're highlighting this pioneer. Reverend Lawson will be on our show soon. We're going to get him. He's
wonderful.
So busy.
Yeah. Right.
I want him to be on my first show as we kicked off in early September. But actually, he was involved in so many of the 50th anniversary activities that he was not available. But we're going to get him.
That's great.
When we want somebody, we get him. We got Tyra. We can get anybody.
We can get anybody. Absolutely. Well, that's a demonstration of life's work. That is truly his life is representative of finding what it is you want to kind of how you want to empower people, what message you want to relay, and committing it to your life.
I recall him attending and speaking at the Metro Board, and it was an issue of enfranchisement of African American contractors and others who wanted to be a part of the construction that's going on in the various contracted work-related projects related to the Metro line, and they had a certain prescribed period of time for him to do whatever he was supposed to do in terms of speaking. He went way over. But did they stop Reverend Lawson from speaking?
No.
This architect and pioneer of the civil rights movement spoke for at least 10 minutes. And they do not do that for anybody. No one else could do that.
Right.
You were watching history speak to current issues of disenfranchisement.
Because it's so relevant.
Yes.
I mean, anytime you talk about change or improvement, you look to the civil rights movement because that's what it was. It embodied, the change that was needed, and it was a movement that moved beyond just the people that were directly affected, but it engrossed everyone.
Yes.
So that, you have to listen. Those are the times you have to stop and listen.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. Well, I appreciate that very much. Let's do a couple more things because we're getting ready to go.
Okay.
We're going to have to transition.
All righty.
But tell us again about tomorrow. Give us the number.
Absolutely.
And give us another plug about the gala.
Absolutely. Well, tomorrow I would invite everyone that's listening to attend Community Coalition's second annual Power Fest. This is a Power Fest, a festival that's actually focused on the Affordable Care Act, and we will have a free concert featuring Goapele. We'll have food trucks, we'll have information, we'll have fun, family, food, from 1 o'clock to 5 at King Park, which is located at 39th and Western. And for any information, you can call the office at 323-750-9087. Again, that's 323-750-9087. You can also call in the studio for information at 323-473-3100. And we also would invite you to attend our gala this October 24th at the JW Marriott. You can also call for information for tickets and for if you want to do donations or just kind of put an ad in one of our program, you're welcome to do that. You can call the studio again at 323-473-3100.
Or call Community Coalition
at 323-750-9087.
It's been a joy having you on.
Thank
you so much. And when they send you back, we'll make sure that you come on. When we get closer to the gala, perhaps we'll have someone.
Wonderful.
Maybe they don't have to necessarily come to the studio. Maybe they can call in, but
we
prefer to have you in the studio. That way the interaction is much more of a conversation.
Absolutely.
We're going to break. We'll be right back. Hold on the line. Faith on the front line. Thank you so much for listening. Hold on.
Thank you. Oh, I appreciate it. Absolutely.
Excellent. You're clear. He's not on the line yet.
Very nice. And you're going to be able to come.
Hey everyone, this is Richard Carr, Business Relations Manager for LA Talk Live. Did you know social media produces almost double the marketing leads of trade shows, telemarketing, direct mail, or even pay-per-click ads? And that about 46% of all online users count on social media when making that ever-important purchase decision. Hey, if you feel lost when it comes to social media, Top Tier Media can help you. Top Tier Media specializes in social media management and blogger outreach for beauty, fashion, health, and lifestyle brands. To learn more, go to www.toptiermedia.com. That's www.toptiermedia.com. Top Tier Media, the official social media marketing company of LA Talk Live and the Talk Live Broadcast Network.
Journey Sisters is an organization that embodies and captivates women from all walks of life. Our membership includes 44 women that are constantly growing in the areas of personal development and community involvement. Monthly, we offer free leadership classes at McCade's Restaurant. Journey aims to inform women in the areas of heart disease and HIV and AIDS. Experience the journey now by logging into www.journeymosaicinc.com. Toll free 888-906-5519. Journey with no excuses.
Are you trying to get in contact with him right now?
Hi, this is Susan Levin, owner and founder of Speaker Services, inviting you to join me and co-host Jean Noel Bassiar on Monday evenings, 5 p.m. Pacific, for our new show, Talk Up Your Business, Speak Your Way to More Profits. We'll be talking to you about how to use your expertise to grow your business or service through speaking. Our expert speakers and author guests will share their stories and success secrets with you. Don't forget to tune in to Talk Up Your Business Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream.tv. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Okay, I appreciate it so much. I'm Minister.
No, I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you. All right, hold on. Okay, you're on camera.
Welcome back to Faith on the Front Line. What an amazing interview we had with Ms. Goodman of Community Coalition, a community group organized to meet the needs of people who went into just 13 years ago an area they saw a need, talked to the people about the needs, informed, organized, and then began to make an impact. And I would think that the same type of approach, the same type of information and impact is shared by my next partner in this conversation, Mr. Cohen, who is a part of In the Public Interest. He's the executive director of In the Public Interest, and it is in the public interest to divulge and to display information that he has been able to research and yet make available to communities around the country. So I want to welcome Dr. Cohen on the line. Are you on, Dr. Cohen?
I am, although I am not a doctor. So
sorry.
You could call me Donald.
Okay, we'll just go with Donald. We won't go with doctor. We'll go with Donald. Thank you so much. But what you're providing for us is certainly healing because information has a way of helping us to get at the illnesses and ailments that ignorance so often afflicts upon us. Let me thank you so much for availing yourself to this opportunity to talk with us on behalf of the public interest.
I'm really happy to be here.
I was impacted yesterday as I listened to you on another broadcast, another interview with such a wonderful and powerful presentation that you made, and I just said, man, I've got to get him on if possible. So I really want to thank you for morphing your schedule and pushing some things away for a few minutes. Well, without any further ado, I didn't want to whet my listeners' appetite, but I'd like to ask you to just go right into what it is that you felt was important that needed to be brought out and what you do.
Well, I run an organization called In the Public Interest, and we focus on how government contracts with the private sector and often does it in a way that benefits the private sector more than it does the public. Mm-hmm. And so, most recently, we released a study of private prison contracts around the country. Your listeners may know there are 2 or 3 major private for-profit prison companies. CCA, the Corrections Corporation of America, and the GEO Group are the largest, and they have contracts with states all over the country. And what we found, well, actually, let me say what we saw last year is that CCA, the largest company, sent out a letter to governors, virtually every governor in the country, saying, you can privatize your prisons to us. We'll take control of them in exchange for 3 or 4 things. The last one being, you have to guarantee that the beds are 90% full for the next 20 years, which is, in our view, outrageous that we would put those kind of conditions on our criminal justice system to keep more people in jail to make CCA wealthy. And so we decided we would go look at all the other prison contracts in the country, all the existing prison contracts. Nobody picked them up on that offer, and found that about 2/3 of the contracts we reviewed, which was most of them, had occupancy guarantees, or we call them lockup quotas, of 80%, 90%, and some 100%. That the state commits to fill in the beds at those percentages, or pay in the private company if the beds aren't full. So this is obviously a crucial issue to taxpayers, because why would we spend money we wouldn't have to spend? Yes. But I also think maybe even more profoundly and more fundamentally is, we're putting, holding hostage our criminal justice system and making it virtually impossible, or making it difficult, I should say, to work on this tragedy of mass incarceration in this country, because we're committed, and agency staff are committed to keeping the beds filled. And private prison companies, it's in their interest to keep the beds filled, so they go to state legislatures and other places to try to pass, laws that can keep people in jail. And this country needs to be going in exactly the opposite direction.
Absolutely. And of course, you're calling me from California. I'm in California, which is among the largest states that have the largest incarceration population in the country. I think Texas, and then there's California. Is that correct?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. That's right. And California, we found, there's many contracts in our report. I didn't do it. Our crack researchers did it. Our study, which is online, has an appendix with every contract and whether they have occupancy guarantee. So people can look at that. The debate happening in California right now is quite germane. There's the debate between Governor Brown, the courts, and the Speaker of the Senate, Darrell Steinberg, of how we're going to reduce incarceration levels in the state. So are we going to hand them off to the private prison companies and ship them out of state, which is the current proposal, or are we going to really develop a sane and rational way to take people who shouldn't be in prison and put them and get them out?
How do we access the study you just referenced, sir?
Our website is www.inthepublicinterest.org. inthepublicinterest.org, and you will see it right on the front page in big headlines.
In the public interest spelled out.
Yep. .org. Yeah.
Amazing.
And it's right on, and it's got lots of facts and statistics, and we looked at both which states had the highest ones. Arizona had some of the highest ones, a few other states as well. We looked at the impact. We found some places where the occupancy guarantee had a direct impact in a negative way. And then, of course, there's the list, and the recommendation section is pretty easy. Should not ever. We don't believe private prisons, for-profit companies have a role in detention of offenders. Yes. But at least that's a start. We should never include these kinds of clauses in these contracts.
And it's probably not a mistake or an anomaly that these contracts are crafted in states that have a high immigration population as well.
Well, that's right. That's right. I mean, those same companies, GEO and CCA, are big players we have lots of contracts for immigrant detention centers with the federal government. We didn't look at those contracts, but you may have seen just this week there was news reports that an amendment was put on one of the bills in the House, and probably the appropriations bill, that would require the BOP ICE require ICE to guarantee the existence of 34,000 immigrant detention beds for private companies, which is insane. This is our policy. Our immigration policy should not be driven by the need to fill beds to make private prison companies please their shareholders. It's just there's no place for that in American society.
This sounds like a passion for you. How is this? I mean, man, I'm feeling you. I hate to say it so parochially, but I'm really feeling what you're talking about. How is this? You shake your head when you unearth this information, when your researchers come back to you. Do you have to take a wave break and go out to the beach or something and talk for what? How does this impact you personally? I don't mean to get in your business, but it sounds like a passion of yours.
Well, it is. I've been doing this kind of work and a community organizer and other things for 35 years, and I just hate greed, and I hate and I hate racism, and I hate those things, and that's kind of what drives me. But when you've been doing it a long time, you figure out how to turn it off and live a good life as well. I have children, I have a grandson. I watch movies.
So you know how to unplug.
And I know how to unplug. Yeah.
You took the blue pill, but you're not totally.
Yeah, exactly. But you got me worked up.
Man, when I heard this yesterday, I was throwing things because I put the pieces together with Alec and 1070 and Arizona and what's happening here, and I'm like, this is nefarious. And then the new so-called immigrants policy that's being bandied around in Capitol Hill is more of an incarceration and repression and border militarization bill than anything else.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's exactly right. I haven't not following the detailed debate closely, but I know from the perspective of things that we're looking at right now, the private companies are heavily in the mix, and they have used ALEC to pass laws that to put more people in jail, and I actually think it's worth thinking a little dispassionately about it for a second. GEO and CCA, big private prison companies, and this is true in other sectors of the economy. But they have one purpose in life, and it's this is capitalism. They need to generate return on investment. That's what they do. That's what you'd expect them to do. They can't do anything but that. But that's the point is, if they want to go make money doing something, fine, go make money doing something, but not when it gets in our way. Their interests are completely counter to our interests. In which case, this isn't selling us, breakfast cereal or cornflakes or a cell phone. This is our public policy. This is our country, and there's no question that their interests don't play a role. That are completely inconsistent and and contradictory to the public interest. And so, what's good for us, and what's good for people, and what's good for America.
Well, you're exactly right, and to some degree, as you talk about it, it reminds me of and I was listening to Michelle Alexander's presentation on another broadcast, the New Jim Crow, and who talks about the manner in which there's a strategic correlation between public policy and incarceration rates, and correlation between public policy and incarceration rates and the private prison industry. And certain political ends as well, determined and directed to impact certain communities so as to control the outcome of certain elections and certain electoral demographics.
That's right.
Just so much connected in behind that. Talk to us a little bit, if you don't mind, about In the Public Interest, its origins and what you all do. I know you just have a few minutes. How much time do you have?
I just have about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Actually about 3 or 4. So we'll just do a quick one on that.
Thank you.
And then we can follow up. We're a nonprofit. I created it about 4 or 5 years ago, with some colleagues of mine. We're both a think tank. We do this kind of research I've been describing.
Okay.
We're a resource center for people around the country that are working on these issues.
Okay.
And we build coalitions to fight for good things and stop bad things.
Yes.
So we actually are leaders of a coalition called the Public Safety and Justice Campaign.
Okay.
That is unions and criminal justice advocates and some community organizations that want to stop the scourge of private prisons in this country.
Mm-hmm.
So we do all of the above, and we have good and faith community as well is involved in our coalition.
Wonderful.
The Methodists and Presbyterians and many others. This is all at the national level.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are, we want to grow. We have a set of statement of principles. We're looking for, folks from all kinds of communities to sign on to it. We can make sure you get copies of that as well.
Please.
And so we want to take money out of the equation when moving private money out of the equation when public policy, as public policy goes forward in any area, in corrections, in education, in infrastructure, in water reclamation, all that stuff. We got to make sure our mission is to make sure the public comes first, always.
Well, I appreciate that, and I thank you for putting faith on the front line first for a few minutes. We want to make sure that people are able to connect with you. There's your website is www.inthepublicinterest.org, and your number. Give us your national number.
I hate to say this, but I don't know it.
You don't know it. I understand. Some people don't even know their own.
I have it. We all use iPhones and cell phones where all you have to do is push the name.
So I'm gonna give what I have. I have a 202-739. I have 202-739-1160. And you'll talk to a nice guy named Patrick.
I think Richard answers that phone. Yeah.
Richard, that's right. Richard put us together. Richard's the man.
Communications have changed so much. I never know what I'm calling.
I understand. And please put us as one of your partners. We'd like to check in with you from time to time to get any other reports you have. Anytime you want to put something out to the public interest, please. Yes. It's free. You got me, man. I am a fan.
Would love to. We'll definitely keep in touch.
Thank you. Let's do that. Bless you.
You bet.
All right, Mr.
Thank
Cohen.
you. Take care.
You too. Bye. That was Mr. Donald Cohen of the public, in the public interest.org, talking to us about the link between private prison industry conglomerates, if you will, like CCA and like Geo Group, which make mega bucks off of the incarceration at guaranteed contractual levels in state governments. Mm-hmm. He is committed to it. You heard his passion. If you want to get more information about it, go to www.inthepublicinterest.org. Download their free publication. Commit to supporting this particular organization. And I'm going to find out more about their think tank, because I think that there has to be a manner by which we craft public policy and legislation that is in the public interest. We have to inform ourselves, organize ourselves, and raise our own issues if we're going to be able to survive in this capital-intensive context. I want to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to share with you my experience at the West Coast Expo. I had an interesting kind of a twist as it relates to an interview that I was privileged to conduct. And then we will...
Hey, Pastor Logan,
yes,
what
sir.
if we take this call before we go over
Oh, there's
the break?
a call? Okay.
They've been waiting patiently for a while.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
So
I didn't know.
Let's go ahead. Let's see if they're still waiting with us.
Okay. I have a caller on the line. Welcome to Faith on the Front Line. How are you?
Good. It's good to be with Faith on the Front Line. I hope this voice is familiar to you. This is Pastor William Monroe Campbell.
Sure does.
Under the weather.
Yeah, I hear it in your nose.
Following the program. I am concerned with the issue that was just raised, and that is the profiteering through the prison system. It's not unlike what happened in the early years of this country, where money was made off of the back of our foreparents who were enslaved.
That's right.
And now you're making money off of the backs of our children who, because of the language of the Constitution in prison, become subject to slavery. And to sell our children who are in prison to private companies who can make money off the back, that's demonic.
It is.
That's of the devil, because it's destructive.
Yes, it is.
And so I join with you in the value of making this known, because most of us aren't aware of it. Faith of the Front Line is making us aware of this very destructive activity that's taking place and profiteering again off of the back of the least in our community.
Dennis Blackman's Slavery by Any Other Name documents and chronicles the way in which, one way or another, we have had a way of incarcerating black men, African people of African descent, for the profit of corporations. It started right after the emancipation. It was before that, and it is continuing today. We'll be right back. Thank you for hanging on. Can you hold on, Pastor?
Okay.
All right, we're going to come back, and I want to share with you some experience I had at the West Coast Expo. Hold on the line.
You're clear?
Meet Betsy. She is 29 years old and lives in Los Angeles. Recently, Betsy sent her father an email that brought tears of joy to his eyes. You see, Betsy suffers from autism, and this was the first email she had ever sent to anyone.
Shout him out.
Betsy is just one of the many students at Empower Tech, a non-profit organization in Los Angeles that trains persons living with a broad range of physical, cognitive, and developmental disabilities how to use computers to do the things that so many of us take for granted. Email, online banking, research, and entertainment. Through modern assistive technology, instructors at EmpowerTech help hundreds of people just like Betsy every year. They teach them the basic skills required to function independently in 21st century society. But with new state budget cuts, all of that could change. EmpowerTech needs your help if it's going to continue making a difference here in our community. Please visit www.empowertech.org. That's www.empowertech.org to make a secure, tax-deductible contribution and to learn more about this important community resource and to see for yourself what some of the amazing students and teachers do on a daily basis. Betsy and the 1.8 million people living with disabilities in Los Angeles County, thank you for caring enough to show your support.
About the present industrial complex, how much money they're making.
Hi, this is Elena, inviting you to join me every Wednesday at noon for Elena's Beauty Talk and more, exclusively on LA Talk Live. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio, R&B, or watch us on Ustream.tv. Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
I am happy to join with you today
You on camera?
This is History in the Making, and I was a part of history today, the third annual West Coast Expo taking place at the Convention Center downtown. Big props to Sister Natalie Cole and Brother David Miller, co-owners and co-founders of Our Weekly. And I want to play, if you don't mind, just a brief excerpt of an interview I had there. You're going to hear the sounds of the West Coast Expo as I talk to two entrepreneurs. And you're going to hear also the benefit of networking and how that actually works to a mutual degree. Listen.
This is Pastor Logan, Faith on the Front Line, and I'm interviewing and talking with Brother Keith Turner, who's principal of Turner Stone, and Michelle Israel, who is the CEO and founder of United We Ship.
Yes, sir.
These are two entrepreneurs, 21st century pioneers, brothers at the West Coast Expo being held at the Convention Center downtown LA. This is the 27th and 28th event that is sponsored at the principal or signature event of Our Weekly newspaper. Tell me, gentlemen, Mr. Turner, Mr. Israel, why this particular event is critical to what you do. You do
biodegradable motor oils and cleaning solvents products. This is important to me because I came from South Central.
I see.
My grandmother did the first lawsuit in this country in 1947, 1956, documented, called the Clinton 12.
Okay.
I used to sell papers on the corner of Florence and Broadway.
Okay.
So I've been in the community for quite a bit. Blessed to have scholarship and want to give back. I want to see some of this functionality come back and bring families back to functionality.
I see. And how does your business help to benefit the community with a net benefit?
Well, our bottom line is we're in the mindset of each one teach one.
Okay.
So if we start our businesses, create jobs, and give these guys an opportunity to show them how to successfully start from beginning to end on minority certifications, minority process, what it takes, how you get qualified versus disqualified. Because they don't want to do business with you first and foremost when you don't have your certification and your jackets in order. So we'll want people and help people do those processes.
So in terms of the actual business that you operate, what exactly do you produce?
We bring ultimate biodegradable motor oils to the table. Our end users are MTA, Metropolitan Transit Authorities, Highway Patrol, fire departments, Fish and Game, Marine. We're going to be coming into all the ports and harbors because our oils do not pollute the water.
Wonderful. And are you the alchemist, the chemist who?
I'm actually a part of the foundation of the creator. I've been part of him since conception to the point of taking on a distribution company. Distributed internationally.
Wonderful. Where is it based?
Right now, we're based in Rancho Cordova, coming here to Los Angeles.
Absolutely.
I covered it.
Real quick. As you are, so United We is part of a sponsor of the West Coast Expo. You're part of the shipping team for West Coast Expo.
Correct. We do trade show, pick up and deliver. So if any of the exhibitors need their products or booths picked up and delivered, we handle that in the local area. We do it across country. We're in the freight business. We do local courier pickup. We have our own vehicles. We have a partnership with Greyhound with Package Express. They ship small parcel packages across the country, and we're a reseller for them as well. So, and yeah.
What about for the individual? For individuals, I know you said that you look at FedEx displacing.
Exactly.
We pick up we pick up an envelope from a small size envelope to a car to anything that we need to move from one point to another. We're your one source. We one source
single logistics provider.
What's the contact number?
877-277-0955.
One more time.
877-227-0955. Okay. And what we're doing is that we're opening up a retail shipping center. Okay. One will be open up here soon. We're looking at a location in Ladera Heights and a couple other locations. Okay. But
it's almost like the UPS,
just like a
location,
UPS store.
FedEx location.
Exactly. The good thing is that these are going to be strategically located in urban communities.
Okay.
As you very well know, most locations are outside of our community. We have to travel. We're setting these up within the urban communities, and we're using our partners, Greyhound Package Express, to move the freight.
And that's where I can come in with you because I sell biodegradable motor oils and lubricants, clean solvent
for your vehicles.
For any vehicle.
Here's the connection.
API
You're listening to a business deal being made right at the expo.
Absolutely.
Well, this is Expo, and we made a connection right here on Faith on the Front Line, right at the West Coast Expo. That's what this networking is about.
That's it's about.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate being a part of it, and I have no shame in my game. I'll be hitting you brothers
Just send me my check.
That's right. Because broadcasting on LA Talk Live costs money.
That's Faith on the Front Line. I've been with Mr. Turner and Mr. Israel, both of which are of African American businesses that were right here networking at West Coast Expo. You just heard a business connection made between Turner Stone and United We Ship. That's what happens when we all come together. We don't hear about it enough, but it happens. We hear about the gangbanging, but not about the connections that we make. It's a pleasure, Mr. Stone.
Each one, teach one. Keith Turner. Each one, teach one.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. All right.
What a pleasurable experience it was to see history in the making. Again, we oftentimes talk about all of the negativity that takes place in our communities, but to see and something that was not even scripted, something that I had no idea, the alchemy of business owners within the West Coast Expo, at the Convention Center, happening right today and tomorrow. Those of you who are small business owners, I would make it my business to go down to the West Coast Expo. You never know what business connections you could make. There's a technology department. There's a green tech department. There are various services. There are banking and commercial interest entities available. There's a job fair. There's a step show. There's a lot happening today and tomorrow, but you'll never know until you take the step, make it happen, and avail yourself to the opportunities. Create an opportunity. You can't always wait for things to come to you. Sometimes you got to go be in the mix, and things like you just heard will happen. There, T-Stone, and United We Ship began talking about making a mutually beneficial business arrangement. One needs a customer that will deal with oil, and the other needs oil because oil, biodegradable oil, to empower and help to facilitate transportation of the products and services that they offer in shipping. Reverend Campbell, what did you think about that?
Yeah, let me offer a word of commendation and encouragement, both in terms of listening to the business entrepreneurs and then the informational program today reflects the fact that though we have been disadvantaged, we don't have to remain victims. We can take control over our own lives, and we do have the power to both be a difference and make a difference. And I think that that's what Faith on the Front Line puts in front of us, the way that we can give life to our faith, and our faith can give life to our existence as we move forward, not disadvantaged, but empowered. And so I'm grateful and want to encourage others to continue to turn into LATalkLive.com to be able to see the broadcast as it comes, streaming over the internet and over the computer. And as you have often said, we don't just have to talk about it, we can be about it and make a difference.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you so much. And I want to thank God for our co-host being on the line. He's not feeling well, but he's calling in nonetheless. I want to thank God for our sponsors. That's Uncle Darrow's on the corner of Lincoln and Washington. If you're feeling like you want something from the bayou, man, go over there and get it. But if you're feeling you need some soul food, you can't go to a better place than Doolin's on Crenshaw. You will max out, brother. Leave the diet on the side. Don't even try it. Again, Faith on the Front Line is glad to come to you every Friday from 11 to noon. Thank you so much, LA Talk Live staff. And my man on the board here is making it happen. Thank you so much. Say your name once again.
Professor Ness.
Professor Ness is the best. He's on the line, and he's making it happen. Thank you so much, Faith on the Front Line family. Faith on the Front Line family. Hope to see you next Friday. God bless. Go to the Power Fest tomorrow. West Coast Expo. Make it happen. Don't just talk about it. Be about it.
And you're clear. Yeah, thank you. That was good. Good topic. Beautiful. What was the name of that company again? That oil company? Then it makes sense.